If you thought things were fast, hold on. So ultimately, these faster, cheaper computers are the oxygen in the room. They're the foundation upon which all these other technologies are growing. And it's not just any one of these that's changing the world. It's the combination of 2, 3, 4 of these, creating these new business models. And this is what's accelerating and driving us. 2010, 8 years ago, 1.8 billion people connected on planet Earth. Last year, 3.8. In the next 5 to 7 years, we're about to connect an additional 4.2 billion people. 4.2 billion new minds that have never been connected are coming online in the next 5 to 7 years, right? What are they going to desire, create, invent, upload, download, buy? It's tens of trillions of dollars flowing into the global economy that no one's talking about. They're all entrepreneurs. They're coming online at gigabit connection speeds, not like you and I did on AOL at 9.6 baud. So, it's not just people. We're about to connect everything, right? In 2020, the prediction is 50 billion connected devices with 1 trillion sensors. Fast forward to 2030, 500 billion connected devices with 100 trillion sensors, where you're going to be able to know anything you want, anytime you want, anywhere you want. I teach my kids, it's not what you know, it's the questions you ask. It's far more important. And besides our things, it's our brains. Right? So today we've got Brian Johnson, Elon Musk, Facebook, Google, IBM, BrainGate. We've got Mary Lou Jepsen, DARPA, I'm sure countless companies, organizations in China and Russia rushing to connect the brain with the cloud. Why? Because there's nothing more important. So what's the world like? Let me do the calculation here. That's sort of like, not too far from now, 17 years from now, when we're connecting the human brain with the cloud. What does it mean when you think and you Google instantly?
So CRISPR is one of a long line, and the weird thing is it was discovered by yogurt makers, because they were trying to figure out why some batches got contaminated and others didn't. And it turns out that you can take mug shots of the things that are bad for you. And then a whole series of very smart people like Jennifer Doudna and Feng Zhang and Charpentier came up with a tool that almost makes it like a Lego block to edit. And that's going to be superseded very quickly by the ability to just print entire genomes. And those are actually machines that we're now shipping as desktop machines. So you won't be editing sentences, you'll be writing entire books.
So if we step back, in Star Trek Deep Space Nine in the mid-1990s, the precautionary principle says we should not proceed down perilous scientific paths unless we have certainty that they will not cause human harm. How do we control the power that is available to us today, Peter?
So I don't think we can. I was just at the Vatican this week. We had an X Prize adventure trip for our benefactors, and we're having this debate around extreme longevity. And I was saying, if we went back 2,000 years ago to my great-great-great-great-grandparents in Greece, and somebody was dying from cardiomyopathy, and someone else got gored by a bull, and I took the dead man's heart and transplanted it, I would have been burned at the stake. Today, it's a miracle. And so we just have to realize that things are changing. The most difficult thing is these kinds and levels change historically at a much more slower rate, but they're about to begin to change at an extraordinary rate that society and governments, I don't think, will be able to really process. That's my biggest concern.
And we really do have to have this debate about ethics and morals and thought processes, because this is really powerful stuff. I mean, this is dominating life code. And that's why it's so important for everybody to be in this conversation, not just scientists.
Okay, I think we'll stay tuned. I think what I would put forth that both of you have spoken about is this is different. Yes, the human species has evolved. We have blue eyes and other things that have occurred over time, mutations. But I think, as you've said, Peter, and I quoted you today, we now have something that we know if we do this, this will happen, rather than just a natural evolution of mutations that have occurred. And therefore, one has to assume that new species are in the potential to be created over the next few years with this technology. We have addressed many different issues at the conference, hundreds of them over the last 4 days. This issue, what is the future of the human species with the power that's available to us today? And will we perpetuate the human species on Earth, on another planet? Are great, exciting roads for us to travel, and as Juan said it, we're just going to do it. Thank you very much for that.